and welcome to Spoiling Point, the semi-regular Outside Xbox show in which we discuss and also spoil the ending of a game we've all recently played. This week we will be spoiling episode 3 of The Walking Dead, called Long Road Ahead, and if you haven't already played it and are planning to, then we suggest you steer well clear, because if you couldn't tell from the number of times I've already said spoil, there will be spoilers.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
He's not dead! Somebody help me!
Come on! We know this guy's not gonna make it!
Don't worry, little girl. Bandits got their eye on that dairy. As long as they keep getting food from them, you'll be safe.
So we've all played episode 3 of The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Mike, very recently.
Yes, lunchtime.
Like half an hour ago.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
Good,
Okay.
it's all fresh.
So it's fresh for you. When I came to episode 3 of The Walking Dead, I had been made previously aware on Twitter and on Facebook and everywhere else that it was going to be an extremely grueling, harrowing experience.
Yeah, it kind of sets you up, doesn't it? You're kind of expecting awful things at every turn.
Well, I thought I would be disappointed because I can
Because it can't be that bad.
take pretty harrowing
Right.
stuff, and
Sure.
I thought it would fail. I thought it would disappoint me in that regard.
And
Did it?
and did it? Yeah.
No, it didn't. It was
It was
horrible.
really,
It was
really-
really horrible.
Presumably we all did shoot the small boy in the face rather than let his father do it.
Yeah.
It's-
I think it's a bit mean to expect the
Kenny
dad
to
to,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the gun, kid. I'll do it.
But I did leave the timer for long enough to count down, so it didn't seem like I was overly keen.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a keen at shooting someone else's
You're like,
child.
I'll do it, hand up,
Yeah.
straight away.
No, you gotta
Like,
wait. And then
Someone
you're
should,
like,
me,
I
I've got a
will-
gun,
I'll
do it.
if I have to.
Someone should, let me finish what I'm going to say. Someone should go back and get some stuff and then...
Standing there, walk back on with the salt
Yeah.
lick. My turn.
Yeah, I bought the salt lick back from the barn. I've
The
kept
only
it
way
with
to be
me.
sure.
So, you waited till Duck had finished breathing before you.
I
shot him,
did, I
right?
did.
So
Well,
that
I
sort of
didn't-
ameliorates your guilt a little, right?
Well, a little bit. It's that sweet spot where they've died, but before they come back, because
Right.
the whole point is that Kenny doesn't want to see his kid become a zombie.
Yeah.
Well, I had the stats earlier, and I think it was like 80% of people did shoot Duck.
It's hard
It only
not
makes
to, isn't
sense,
it? I
right?
mean, when you were playing through the earlier episodes, I did get a text from you just saying how annoyed you were with Duck. So was
He's
this
a
not-
liability.
Was this not a kind of, this was good for you, right?
No, I kind of warned to him. I told him he could be Robin.
You're the greatest detective, and I could be Dick Grayson, your ward.
And then I
Oh,
just
that was
like,
the worst.
heartbreaking.
They set you up for that.
Yeah.
They made him much more adorable in episode 3 than he had been.
That's the thing.
The
Like
bit with the high five was just heartbreaking.
the other obviously big thing is Carly's situation where she gets shot.
What the fuck's the problem?
Episode 3 does really
Or Doug.
obviously.
Or Doug.
Or Doug, yeah,
yeah.
but who
Who
brought
saves
Doug
Doug?
down, right?
No one.
Right.
But yeah, it sets them both up. Certainly with Carly, in that she displays some romantic interest in Lee, and at the same
Yeah.
time, you're also making friends with Duck. And there's that bit where it pops up and says, "Duck thinks you're super awesome," and it's like it's
Yeah.
that's such bad foreshadowing, basically,
Yeah.
because you know they're both in trouble.
It was kind of cruel of Telltale to make you act like a snippy dick towards Duck for the entire first half of the episode.
Jesus, Duck. Duck!
I was combing the scene for clues,
Yeah,
and
Duck, I got it.
What about the very first sort of major decision, which is whether you kill this girl who's being chewed on by zombies?
Right, yeah.
Gotta shoot her. Put her out of this misery.
I don't know we're here.
What do you mean?
And the idea is you can either shoot her and put her out of her misery because she's done for, or you can leave her to suffer but draw away the zombie crowd, which gives you longer to
Yeah.
forage in the drugstore.
Well, I tried to headshot the zombie closest to her, and it counted that as me shooting her.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's pretty generous with aiming, I
Yeah.
found, in the shooting bits in episode 3, as
So-
long as you're somewhere in the...
Yeah, I was like 3 feet to the right, and it was like, yeah, perfect headshot on this.
So you like
woman
playing
on the
some
right.
Call of Duty, like
Yeah, I was going to
quick
take
scope
everyone
all
out.
the zombies.
Yeah. So did you shoot her as well?
Yeah, I shot her, and as I understand it, what that affects is when you're in the store, you have a less amount of time before the zombies rush in. But I kind of managed to gather all the
Yeah, I
stuff
got like
anyway.
13 or 14 things, and
What?
like, did you not?
No, I got 6 things.
Oh, God. Okay.
So you're
then
able to headshot a woman
I was-
from like across the street. You can't pick up
I
some
was like,
biscuits.
I was shopping, I was putting them back.
right,
Not really interested in antibiotics. Have you got any
Looking for
crisps?
stuff in a reduced style.
But in
Yeah.
the stats,
Fruit.
at the point when I finished the game anyway, in the stats it said only 38% of people had shot
Really?
that woman.
So it's kind of similar, like with this. if you chose Doug or Carly in the first episode, I imagine it's going to be the same. It's going to play out the same way. Whoever it is that's left is going to get shot by Lily in the
I guess
in
it
the
makes
RV.
Telltale's job easier because the more they branch the story, the more they have to write. But if they can kind of then like lop off that branch, so to speak, by ending either Doug or Carly, then they'd don't have to keep writing for that character.
Yeah, like for example, when you're given the choice to leave Lily behind or to bring her on board the RV, I imagine that will end up playing out the same way. So either she steals the RV from inside the RV or she just turns up and takes it, I think.
Catches up with you later and
Yeah.
steals it anyway.
Yeah, I left her in the forest. I thought.
Yeah, you did, whereas I kept I wanted to know where she was.
Yeah.
So,
I
when
kept
that's
on- I
someone
couldn't-
that crazy, I want to know where they are at all times.
Leaving her out of the RV felt like a death sentence because you're in the middle of the woods. So I was.
Yeah, but that's how I
can't
keep
really-
my conscience clear. I did the same. I did the same thing with the two cannibal brothers. I'm just like, I'll just leave you here, and one of them's in a bear trap, bleeding to death.
You're like
and-
Batman.
Yeah.
Like, don't take any life.
Exactly. Yeah, and just like, allow them to. And yeah, the other guy was
Expire.
about to be mobbed by zombies.
We gotta jump!
What? No way!
Speaking of like illusions of choice, right at the end where you can choose Omid or Krista,
Yeah.
and either way you get a telling off, as I understand it, because actually no, I chose Omid, and you.
Yeah, I did initially choose Omin, and he was so angry at me. I reloaded
back.
to see what would
That's
happen if
cheating,
I...
no
It is
reloading.
cheating, but I wanted to see what would happen if I saved Krista, and then she was furious with me. And that actually, if you look at the stats screen at the end, it doesn't portray it as being a choice between Omid and Krista. It doesn't
Right.
say, did you save Omid and Krista? It says, did you help Omid? That's the only...
Oh,
That's
okay.
the
Of
way
course
it-
I helped Omid.
Yeah.
His leg's broken because
So I was
broke
like,
it. 'Cause
well, no, I
pushed him
didn't,
off a
but
bridge.
I helped Krista, so
Yeah.
do I not get any credit for that?
Yeah,
No.
whereas he's like, are you serious? She's a woman. You didn't help the woman.
No, her, not me! Krista, no! Fuck! You piece of shit! She's a woman! Don't you know?
It's okay, honey. I'm okay.
I think there's no inherent judgment in the stat screen. Like, really, it's not like this was the right answer.
I felt
this was the-
judged, Mike. I felt very
Really?
judged.
Well,
I don't
Telltale
know.
wagging their finger at me.
It's more like
it is a game of
you know,
constant
the-
judgment. Like Clementine will remember that you stabbed a man in the chest with a pitchfork.
I would
I
remember
remember
that.
that,
You know,
yeah.
I would remember that.
I did stab a dude in the chest in front of
Yeah.
Clem. That's my great regret. That's my one great regret.
I can't believe you did
All
that.
of the, yeah, I was really angry. I was
You're
cross
a-
with that.
you're a
And I'm
monster.
inconsistent. I'm a monster that's inconsistent because I
Inconsistent
then
monster.
spared the second brother because I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a game that provokes inconsistency though, because you're given a very small amount of time. So like when Kenny drops a salt lick on someone's head, I was
Yes.
like pretty much fine with
Let
him
me check my
afterwards.
character sheet.
Whereas Lily, she's taking the long walk back to civilization in the forest. So.
Speaking of Clementine, I thought she was really good in this episode.
She's adorable
She's
all
too
the
adorable.
time.
If Telltale do anything, I swear to
She's
God.
doing that leaf rubbing. She's so
Oh, guys.
adorable.
Putting stickers on the walkie-talkie as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was lovely.
So cute.
And the scene where you're teaching her to shoot was really well done, I thought, as well. I thought it was just a really nice character moment.
Aim lower.
I got it.
Excellent. Good shot.
You've had this really awful, harrowing moment before. It really brings the... it's not as frantic. It's some time out to just kind of enjoy the characters and just sort of wander around, and you solve the train puzzle, which is, you know, a bit more slow-paced. And I think the pacing of the episodes is really good.
Yeah, the whole third act is quite slow and not so harrowing as everything else that's
So
happening.
it
So, yeah, maybe
it
that's-
peaks really kind of
makes
halfway
sense.
through, and then you sort of... It lets you catch your breath, which is nice.
I was really annoyed that Carly got shot. I thought she was great.
Well, I think you did good today. And I find myself thinking that most days.
Thanks.
I liked her
really,
too.
Really good character.
Yeah.
Because they had that banter about the batteries.
It's broken.
I know it's broken.
And the batteries might be in backwards.
It uses just one.
Everything should. What was the question?
That
Yeah.
was stupid.
That
in the
was
very first
stupid,
episode, where it's like,
yeah.
what's wrong? It's not working. You look at it, and there's a giant diagram of the batteries in the wrong way. And you're like, come on, you were a reporter. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
you've used a dictaphone before or something.
She's just like hitting it.
Yeah.
Everything's USB these
Smashing it
days.
and stuff
Yeah. But you know, maybe you'd have grown to love Doug as much. Lovely Doug.
Well,
Everyone-
Who no one's saying.
He has
because
those
no
come
one
to bed
understands.
eyes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
know.
everyone hates poor Doug. He's a real guy as well. You know that. He's like an IT
His
guy.
likeness is the likeness of one of
Really?
Telltale's
Yeah,
IT
it's in, one,
guys.
it's in one of the developer diaries. They're like,
Doug is a good friend of mine. I'm wearing this shirt in support of Doug, so I thank you for saving him. Thanks
You're
for-
welcome, and
Thanks
I'm
for
sorry
boosting
about
Doug's
the-
stats.
I wonder how he feels.
I'm really
Watching
I'm running out of ladies
looking at
in
the
my
stats.
group though, because I'm
Yeah.
like Carly's dead. Lily,
Lily's
I left
crazy.
crazy and left in the forest.
Catcher shot herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you and the travelling hobo.
Sausage
and
party now on that
Krista
train.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, Krista, the new one.
the
Yeah.
mysterious hobo character. He's He's fine,
Yeah,
isn't
and he turns up, he's like, I gave candy to all the kids. So.
Everyone's fine with that. It's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm like, Clementine, have I taught you nothing? Don't take candy from strangers.
You're like, you got to
Shoot
be
them in the
safe.
head, don't take
Yeah.
candy from strangers.
Strange, transient men. Yeah. So there was the fist fight with Kenny as well, which I thought was well done. Like,
Yes,
You
definitely.
get wailed on.
Yeah.
I was getting wailed on.
you let him get a few shots in, right?
Yeah,
So it feels
because
better.
in my fiction, it's because he's an upset
Yeah.
father, and I thought I'd
Sure.
better take it out on me.
Not me. I took him down to Chinatown. That guy. I was like, smash, smash into the wall.
I missed a few prompts.
Did
It
you
was
knock
like something out of-
knock that stash off his face?
Yeah. It was. No, you know, he started off. He hit me a few times, and then it was all Lee.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get you knocked some sense into Kenny. It says.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you knock sense into Kenny?
I did, but I think only because I got like one good punch in, and the rest of
You
the
knocked
time he
some
was just
sense into
wailing.
Kenny's fist with your face.
There's a bit right towards the end that is very sort of classic point-and-click adventure where you can't get the maps because they're just over his
Because
shoulder.
Kenny's in the way.
And
Like,
that felt to me quite old school.
Are there any maps up here?
I don't know.
Because you have to, you know, find this roundabout way.
Yeah.
Although it's not roundabout in classic point-and-click style. It's
No.
just like, there's some booze outside. Do you need a drink?
There should have been a puzzle where you have to get a coat hanger and a long piece of wire, and you have to thread it past
While
Kenny,
Kenny's sitting there.
unhook it from in front of him, and get it back over.
How do you guys feel about the fact that Lee's a murderer? Like, as in a general sense, like, how do you feel? Because when he was on the way to prison, I like to assume it was something nice and clean, like tax evasion. But he actually shot a guy.
I was, on my way to prison 3 months ago.
No shit.
They haven't really gone into super detail about the circumstances of it. He just says he killed a guy in a fight,
No, because he
He was
talks about
having an affair with his wife.
and the guy was having an affair with his wife. But I mean, it's like, have you seen Jailhouse Rock? You know, what Elvis goes to prison for in Jailhouse Rock is killing a guy in a bar fight. He punches him and the guy hits his head and dies.
Right.
So
And in
that's-
Con Air.
And in
right?
Con Air,
Nick
right?
Cage.
Apparently that is
There's
the
a
kind
totally
of
noble bar fight.
that's
yeah.
the acceptable way
If you've
to
got
go
to go
to
to prison for
murder.
murder but be a hero, it's got to be in a bar fight,
So-
possibly over your wife. All right, so closing remarks. How harrowing on a scale of 0 to 10 out of harrowing?
I would say like it's pushing a 9.
It was a high harrow factor. I mean, presumably they're going to try and top it.
I
from
don't
now
know.
on. What do you think? Do you think they're going to peak the harrowing?
Killing a
next-
kid like is a bit.
That's
Where do you
pretty
go
much.
from there?
yeah. Where do you go from there?
Like you said, it was the
exactly.
answer to everyone who's like, why can't I kill kids in Skyrim? Why can't I kill kids in Grand Theft Auto? Or why aren't there any?
And they're like, right, kill a kid.
Here
So
you
you
go.
see how you feel, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
god.
go nuts. I
Yeah,
feel terrible.
that was the worst.
Well, that was Spoiling Point, and come on back for more. And for episode 4 of The Walking Dead, that's coming soon to Xbox Live Arcade.